Hey there, everybody. I'm going to do something a little bit different than what we usually do in the Friday video. I'm not going to talk about the Parsha. I apologize to the traditionalists out there. Come to Shul over Shabbos, and you'll hear some Divrei Torah about the Parsha. I want to talk about two different mitzvot that relate to what's going on in the world right now, and particularly what's going on in Israel right now. We read a few weeks ago in the Torah about the mitzvah of rebuke, the mitzvah of tochacha. That we have a mitzvah to rebuke our fellow Jew, our fellow human being, when we see that they're not following in the ways of God, they're violating the Torah, and we believe that they have a chance to change if we can point it out to them in a kind and constructive way. Then we have a mitzvah to tell them something, to say something. However, the Gemara tells us that if there is no chance that that person will listen to us, they will not change one iota. Even if we say it in the nicest way, there is no mitzvah at that point. If we know that person, they're not going to change. There is no mitzvah at all to say anything. In fact, it may be an aveira, not our topic though, maybe a sin, but it's not our topic, so I don't want to get too far afield on that. And now, if we just take that sort of face value, it would sound like that if we don't think that people will listen to our feedback, our criticism, then there is no mitzvah to say anything. However, the Gemara spells out seems to be something like a separate mitzvah. My teacher, my Rebbe at YU, Rabbi Weider, who I had for many years, pointed out in a Sichat Musar that he gave 6 or so years ago at this point, that there is a separate mitzvah from rebuke, from tochacha, and it's called macha. It's called protest. And there's a statement in Masechet Shabbat that says, Kol mi she'efshar limchod la'anshe beito v'lo micha. Anyone who could have protested, who can protest something that is going on amongst members of their household, or ba'anshe iro, or members of the city, or b'chol ha'olam kulo, or with the world, something going on in the world. You have a chance to protest something, an injustice. Not that, not something obviously small, they by mistake committed a sin, they violated the Torah or something. No, there's a real, true injustice going on. Velo micha, and the person does not protest when they had the chance to do so, because they could reach, an audience. Nitpas al anshe beito or anshe iro or al kol ha'olam kulo. The person who does not protest is ensnared in the sin that they did not protest. They are guilty of that sin by silence. And as Rabbi Weider pointed out in that talk he gave, I remember and I recall him saying that the mitzvah of macha, the obligation to protest, is as much for the one protesting as it is for the person or the organization or whatever it is that is being protested against. Right, that is the subject of the protest. Because sometimes, even if it will fall on deaf ears and no one will listen and no one will change, we still have to say something. That's macha. That's protest. Because it shows to ourselves that we care. And by the way, you never know. Someone may actually listen to what we have to say. And it may make a difference. We don't know, but it doesn't matter. When we see injustice, when we see falsehoods, when we see things that undermine truth, we have to say something. It's our obligation. This week, earlier in the week, on Monday, Rabbi Morgenstern and I myself, we were outside our local congressman's office to protest things that were just lacking in truth. And we were joined by members of our community and other surrounding communities, and other rabbis from surrounding communities. Will it make a difference? Will it not make a difference? I hope it does. But even if it doesn't, we should feel good because we stood up for what we believe is right and what is just and what is true. And that's a value as well, because it shows ourselves that we care. We care about our brothers and sisters in Israel. We care about Medinat Yisrael. We care about the safety of everybody there. We care for the safety of innocent Palestinians who, because of Hamas terrorists, are now in danger. And Israeli citizens who are in danger because terrorists continue to shoot rockets through the skies of Israel. We have an obligation to reach out to our elected officials, not just our local congressmen, but to our elected officials in general, to tell them and to ask them to make a statement that terrorism from Hamas is what it is, and it's wrong, and it must stop. And even if our elected officials, or those who we can reach, not just elected officials, those who we can reach and can hear our message, don't listen, that's okay, because we did our part. We showed ourselves and we showed our brothers and sisters in Israel that we're doing what we can from where we are. We care. So let us make sure that we raise our voices. As Rabbi Weiss said at the rally, Leman Tzion lo echashe. For the sake of Tzion, we will not remain silent. Let us not remain silent. Let us raise our voices. Try to have them heard. And if it works, it maybe helps others understand things in a different way, help them see the perspective that we believe is the truth, then great. But if not, do not despair. We're doing the right thing. And we care. May God bless Medinat Yisrael, its citizens, and all the good, decent people, innocent, caring people in this world. May God bless them with peace. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.